Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm your host, VLD, coming back with another video, and today I have a review for you. I like to do keyboard case reviews for the Mini 6. Seen this one off Amazon for about 70 bucks. You can get it for about $60 right now, and it's a keyboard case from Snugg. It's kind of like the type case, but it's not. Hello and welcome back YouTube, I'm your host VLD. I've reviewed this keyboard case in the past. This is initially the type case one. I thought this one was different, but it's the same. This is just rebranded from a different company called Snugg. This keyboard case on the outside, the hard plastic, you do get a lot of fingerprints. When you open it up, it looks quite familiar because this is the only actual keyboard case with a trackpad, as i.e. the type case. So this video is more of an actual in-depth review because I'll admit I've actually glossed over a couple things from my last keyboard case. So this one is more actual in depth, which I feel as if I should give this one more of a better review itself, which I'm going to do. This keyboard case is probably one of the better ones you can get. If you like my content, please buy me a coffee. Link in the description. Thank you and have a good day. Once you turn it on, you are given with 10 different colors you can do for backlit, and with each one you have options of turning the brightness from low, medium, or high, which depending on the day or the brightness could be a good thing. I could also say is battery life, because with this keyboard case, it's set off Amazon, you can get about 50 hours from a single chart. It varies from the brightness itself. You can rotate the screen 360 degrees all the way around. With my only complaint about this hinge is it's really tough. You can't really use one hand. You need two hands to turn it just because it's kind of stiff. To bend it forward or backwards, you do need two hands just to do it. And to rotate it, you still need two hands for that. It's kind of really tough. When you put your iPad mini into the case, you go from the bottom up because you could potentially bend the top. Just to be safe, you have all your cutouts for your volume button up and down, your lock button, your charging, which is really good. You also have the option of charging your Apple Pencil even with the sleeve. When you close it, there is a big enough gap that the keys will not actually touch the screen, because some people don't actually have a screen protector. You could potentially scratch your screen with a keyboard that is not actually happening. You do get raised to wake, which if you open and close the case, the screen will either dim or wake up, which is also really good. Some of the keyboard cases I've reviewed in the past lack this function, and frankly it can be quite annoying, which it's really good in my opinion. Plus the simple fact that there's a pretty big gap is good. The trackpad, I never really gave it enough justice for a review. I kind of glanced over it. You do have the option of turning it off. It's not that great. The clickiness is pretty lackluster. If you were to press down in the middle, I don't really recommend. Either press down in the bottom left corner or the bottom right corner for a left click or right click. Middle, if you tap it, that wouldn't be too bad option, but when you press the bottom in the middle, it gets confused for the actual pressing and the case doesn't really know what to do. The right click is bottom right corner, bottom left, and if you actually double tap without pressing down, that counts as a left click, but pressing it actually in the middle or on the bottom in the middle segment, I don't recommend, because there's a hollow gap there and it's not that great. These are your keyboard cuts with the function button as shown, which it's pretty common all the way around. What you have: volume up, cut, copy, paste, everything else in between. The keyboard itself is fairly small. It's a little bit cramped. It's the same style and same size as some of the other ones. This is a keyboard I've reviewed a few weeks ago. It's a little bit mushy. The keys aren't as sturdy as some of the other ones. In the other keyboard case I reviewed, with the trackpad, this one's fairly small, but the Snugg one is about 3 times the size, which it's decent for navigating. The other one, I don't even recommend using the trackpad. This one's not as bad just because it's pressing it in. The keyboard itself is a little bit cramped, just considering the form factor they use with the Mini 6. Your mileage might vary. Some people might like it, some might don't. Some people like a netbook all-in-one, but it just depends. But this trackpad, it's hitter. Like one finger gestures work just fine for scrolling up and down. It's oversensitive with two fingers. It just scrolls. It's not that. It's like a kid with crack and candy. It just runs around too much. Even if you go slow, it's just really jittery. It's way too sensitive and it doesn't work. You can't swipe back and forth between back or forward with your web pages. It doesn't have that option. If you do 3 fingers up, you do go home, and if you have 1 finger, if you scroll up, you will see your notification screen, and if you press down, you will go back home. For basic navigations, this works really well. You can swipe between different web pages, different home pages. Granted, you will get stuck from time to time. It's how it is. It's not great, but it's not completely terrible. You can select text with 1 and 2 fingers. You do have that option. You can click and drag stuff, which that works just fine. But when you get into more 3 or 4 finger gestures, it doesn't work. 3 finger swipe to go back to the home screen, 3 finger swipe down to go to your last one. If you swipe 3 fingers across, you open multitasking for different applications for that. Then 1 finger swipe down to get to your notification bar or your recent apps for that, which those work fairly well. It does get stuck when you try to swipe between different home pages. 4 finger tap for taking a screenshot, and that works. They work decent. It's not great. The only main thing that doesn't work well is 2 finger gesture from going up and down for web pages. It goes really, really quick. I'd say that this isn't really super precise with this trackpad. If I were to do a maze, it'd be about 70% precise. And even when you use universal control, you can actually do the same gestures with this through your Mac over Wi-Fi and Bluetooth while it's all connected to your iPad. So essentially, you could bring your iPad with this keyboard case if you do like a lot of remote work or anything, and you can control your MacBook or your iMac or your Apple computer with this keyboard, which if it was good, I would recommend it. But just trying to do like basic navigation, switching between features or anything, because I'm trying to do keyboard shortcuts and trackpad with universal control with my computer, and I'm not having any luck because on my iPad, it's acting up a lot. But it is going through on my Mac, so that's good. It's just really hit or miss. Like, this could have been like the best keyboard case ever with a trackpad and all-in-one netbook style if you're a Mini 6, but it's kind of lackluster. The keyboard case is one of the top 2 best keyboard cases you can get for the Mini 6, but the trackpad, it's kind of hit or miss. Like, if they would have put a little bit more effort and time into it, this could have been the best device for it at all. Like, the keyboard, it's decent. It's USB Type-C, it's backlit, you can rotate it. It turns your Mini 6 into a netbook style computer, which some people actually love and really want, which I could actually recommend that. The trackpad kind of holds it back. It's just the caveat that just holds it back from being amazing and great. The keyboard itself, it's good, but just the track, it's for basic navigation, it works fine. Universal control isn't that great, but for about $60, I do recommend this, as this is the second best keyboard you can get. I'm more of a fan of Greenlaw. That's just my own personal opinion. So like always, I'm your host, VLD. Smash that bell, subscribe for new content.